What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mongols. This is our weekly rundown of all things that are happening with the Riverhounds and Riveters. We are joined this week by fan favorite, goalkeeping legend, coaching hero, Jon Busch. Buschy, how's it going, man?
It's good. It's good, gentlemen. How are we all doing tonight?
We are good. Very good. Yeah.
Great.
Good.
Buschy, how was your holiday?
Quiet, which is what I needed. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't, we did the family thing for Thanksgiving, so that was good enough. And I literally took a couple of days here, just nice and quiet. I did the one thing that I love to do. I went down to the ice rink downtown, outside, and I grew up playing hockey, so I got my skates in my car all the time. So I went down Christmas Day because I knew it would not be busy. I went down about 1 o'clock, and there were about 6 people on the ice, so I didn't have to worry about people that thought they could skate and can't skate and falling down, and I didn't have to play Frogger on the ice, which was great. I could just skate. So awesome. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
Good.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll say congrats because we haven't talked to you yet. So
thank you.
Yeah, you got a championship in the USL.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. We asked Danny this a couple weeks ago, last week, whenever that was.
Okay.
About like what the guys did after to celebrate. I mean, they had the cup in hand and whatnot. Did you do anything crazy with the cup or without the cup to celebrate?
No, nothing too crazy. I mean, I did drink beer out of it. There is a video of it. My brother and his wife, they live in Kansas City, so they came over. And nice. So we spent, they came to the game and then we spent the evening together. They hung out with the staff and everything. So it was a good, I don't get to see him that often. He works for the Kansas City team out there in their academy system. So we're both very busy, but it was a good little family time there. He just had some beer out of it, and like I said, there is supposedly a video out there somewhere, but
the guys are keeping that close in case
they're going to use that. That's going to come out at some point.
So the championship games, I mean, the whole playoffs was basically very keeper focused with the fact that with the PK so often. What's that look like in practice, and how does it exactly work with like training for PKs? Is it just with the keepers? Are you also like training the players as well, of the field players as well? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, anytime we're in the possibility of penalty kicks, like the Jägermeister Cup last year or anything like that, Open Cups, we'll work on PKs a day or two before that. My biggest thing with the goalkeepers is they get a scouting report before every game on penalty kicks. We write them down on a piece of paper. I have it in my notebook. They've seen it. I usually give it to them Wednesday, Thursday for them to kind of study it and have an idea. So they always have a scouting report. And then B, the biggest thing for my goalkeepers is I always tell them, don't go early. Don't go early. Just react to it. And if it's close enough, you're going to get it, because especially in playoff time, these shooters get a little bit tighter, whether it's, their shot is tighter towards the goalkeeper or, it's a little bit wider and now it's coming off the post or the crossbar or something like that. The pressure goes onto them in these situations. So for me, I just don't want my goalkeepers, just guessing and going early and making it easy. I want them to put the pressure back on the shooters and make them earn it.
Do you do the why don't we see the cheat sheet on the water bottle like we do in EPL?
Because those water bottles have been thrown into the stands a few times.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
is that the water bottle you've got, Josh, in the back? So Jon, I mean, this has happened, I think, a few times in your career, but you coached another player who walked away with another piece of individual silverware, Eric, getting the MVP of the championship game. So like when you look at your own trophy case, I mean, I know you've got a few trophies from your career. Yeah, do you like put like something up? Do you commemorate the way that your players that you've now coached do it? And like we were talking a little bit off air about like all of the different players that like train with you in the off season and whatnot. Like at what level do you kind of say like, hey, how do I memorialize this for myself, for these guys?
No, I don't. It is very rewarding. And it's, if you look at Eric's entire year again, very similar to when we talked after last year about his year, a little bit of up and down again, first half of the season. But again, locked in towards the end. And I mean, he was lights out in the playoffs. He was lights out. He was in the zone. So it is very rewarding to be able to sit back and just see everything fall into place and say, you know what, all the work and the time we put in, whether it's on the field or in the videos or whatever, like to see it come into fruition in those moments. Nothing was bigger than that finals. And if you look at that final and how much time over the last 2 years we spent on him coming for crosses, because when he first got here, he wasn't reading them well. So there was so much time put into that between him and I, and obviously the other goalkeepers as well. But to see him dominate the way he did in that final, and not just coming for those balls. I mean, he's getting smashed into and he's holding on to them. It just takes so much pressure off of our back line. So all the credit goes to him and the hard work he put in. But yeah, it's very rewarding when you see that, and he ultimately gets rewarded for what he did in the playoffs.
Speaking of coaching, we know that you spend a lot of time in Montour with not just the guys on the Hounds team. We talked a little bit about, the guys that come in the offseason and train with you. I know that you had a hand in kind of helping with the goalkeeping coach situation with the Riveters this past season. Mm-hmm. Now the club has announced that there's going to be a USL2 team as well. I mean, you have a lot on your plate. Do you anticipate having a hand in that as well?
Oh yeah. I've been talking with Josh Kramers about possible goalkeepers. So yeah, I mean, everything goalkeeping, it comes through my office, which I love it. I love it. It just, the biggest thing I'm learning in this is prioritizing what needs to be done right away. And I tease Scott because I think Scott's fantastic with the academy, but he was calling me a few weeks ago when I was over in Philly watching Ross Kane run a goalkeeper combine. I was looking at some of the guys there for possibility here, and I get a call from Scott that evening, like, I need a goalkeeper for the women's team. And I said, okay, well, I'll get you sorted, but your season's like 6 months away. Mine's like in 3-4 weeks. Let me get this sorted first with our first team, then I'll get you sorted. So yeah, I just add the USL2 onto the pile now, but yeah, like I said, Kramers, him and I have talked a few times about goalkeepers. We're working on one right now, waiting to see if that one falls into place. If not, we've got another direction we'll go. But yeah, that's also part of being a goalkeeping director, because that is underneath us, and maybe sometimes those goalkeepers will be coming up and training with us in the mornings, and the opposite, just like I did with Ben last year and some of the other goalkeepers year before, I might be sending, whoever my third is down to Kramers to get him a couple games throughout the year as well. So we have to work together, and again, anything goalkeeping, I totally enjoy it.
Just to follow up on that, obviously there's the management side of things is very different from the roll your sleeves up and like get down on the field with the guys side of things. Do you enjoy that management bit where you're like names on paper, moving stuff around more than what you're on the field? Like, where does that fall for you?
No, I love being on the field. I don't mind the office work, looking at goalkeepers, talking to agents, talking to MLS clubs, just looking around, looking at video, that sort of thing. It's part of the business. I don't mind it. I would prefer to be on the field training them. But yeah, it comes with the business and having to kind of put this team back together. And that's just another piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. So speaking of the first team with regards to keepers, we got one announced right now.
Yes, we do.
Campuzano from Monterey Bay. From your perspective, why is he a good fit for us? And where do you see him as far as, is he our going to be our first de facto right now, since we have one, obviously. But
right now he is the
first right now.
This night he is starting on opening night because I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
There goes that question.
I'm done.
So, why is he a good fit for the Hounds?
So, I saw Nico a couple years ago, invited him into, it may have been my first combine here, my first year. I really liked him. Discussed it with Bob. Bob wanted to go in a different direction that year. Actually, I think it was the second year now that I think about it. But I've always kind of kept an eye on him. I think he has the experience in this league that we need out of our starting goalkeeper. When you look at the player profile that we're looking at and you're looking at the characteristics, good shot stopper, he's active off his line. That's very important for us. Crosses, through balls, things like that. We're going to play a high line. The piece that we're going to add a little bit more this year without getting crazy with it is playing out of the back a little bit more possession. I'm sure Rob's already talked about that to you guys about that. I had to add that into the player profile a little bit more this year of, okay, again, for as good as Eric is, he's the best shot stopper in the league. His feet, we didn't do much with them. Right. And we kept it simple, where under Rob, we're going to want to play a little bit more. So, that became an important piece of the player profile.
Yeah. So as you look through like what you've got with Nico and what you want from other keepers on the roster, are you looking for like some of those same similarities, or are you looking for someone that can maybe do something that's a bit different than him as a goalkeeper? And I guess maybe like a really pragmatic question is, I mean, obviously we're moving into new coaching going in, and kind of new structure within the organization. So still looking for 3 keepers, or are we looking for 2? Like where do you kind of like make those decisions in your role?
Again, Rob has been great with communicating and collaborating, and he'll give me his thoughts. I'll give him my thoughts and everything. We're going to carry 3 again, just like we did. So I'm still looking for 2. I've got probably 4 pokers in the fire, if you want to call them that. I have a direction I want to go. But I have to see if we can get that completed, and if we can, fantastic. And then I'll focus on the 3rd after that. If not, then I have another direction I can go for that number 2. So I have I'm trying to take it one at a time. The 3rd most likely will be a young college kid, like it usually is. And that might not be sorted out till a couple weeks into preseason. I've got one that I have already invited in from our combine, Gavin, who was over in Dayton. He came in, had a fantastic combine. I was very happy with him. So I've invited him into preseason. I'm going to bring in a couple more college and or got pro guys still looking for jobs and let them battle it out, I think. So that's kind of where my mindset is for the 3rd. And like I said, for the 2nd, I've got some ideas. I just got to see which one lines up.
One of the things that we've kind of theorized about is now that we've won the championship, we might have more scenarios where people are trying to come to us. They're a little bit more interested. Have you seen that at all? Or is it more still the case of you're spotting talent and you're going out and trying to bring them in?
I think it's a combination. I really do. I think, if you guys probably have not talked to Adam yet, the new assistant coach, he is very good with data and analytics and all that. I've already nicknamed him Billy Bean. So he loves numbers. He loves numbers. And he's very, very good at it. So, almost every day we'll get another text with some sort of new chart or new something. I'm like, holy moly. But him and Rob have worked very well. They have looked at so many players and trying to figure out what fits into what we want and how we do it. And then obviously this is in there as well. So I think it's a combination. I think our net's bigger as far as looking and recruiting and looking at numbers and analytics and all that, as well as I feel personally that there's more coming at us this year as well, saying, I want to come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. We were speaking a little bit off air about all the work that you do in the off season, how pros come back and they train with you at Montour and all of that. Who would be your dream signing that you would bring back for us, but maybe is just out of reach for whatever reason? Maybe they have a contract somewhere else or it just isn't going to fit the system.
And it's got to be a goalkeeper, and they have to have played here. Is that my?
They don't have to have played here. It could just be a keeper that you're like,
and I have an unlimited
coming back,
and I have an unlimited budget.
Well, does Tuffy have an unlimited budget?
Yeah, I mean, you're not bringing in Donnarumma or anything.
No, not Donnarumma. Okay. Just Allison over at Liverpool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, somebody like that.
I'm sure Robbie would love that.
Yeah,
exactly. In Liverpool.
No, I mean, I did have conversations with Jamali. Like I said, Jamali and I are very, very close. My biggest concern with that is, and it's a blessing and a detriment at the same time. He is a national team goalkeeper, and I've played for my national team. I know how important that is and how much of an honor that is. Unfortunately, in the USL, we don't acknowledge international weekends. And if you remember that first year, he missed quite a few games not having to go. We wanted him to go to the Gold Cup. So it's a double-edged sword as far as that. But we had talked about it because I think he is a very, very good goalkeeper.
Yeah. So in addition to everything you do with the keepers, I kind of noticed this. I think a few other people noticed it this season, that there were times throughout the season where you were getting up from the bench and talking to some of the field players and coaching them in the middle of games in a way that I don't think we'd ever seen before from at least a goalkeeping coach. So kind of how do you see your role in that? And how do you see that evolving as you work with the team overall, not just the goalkeepers coming up this season?
Well, first of all, I didn't think that's where the question was going to go. I thought you were going to go to the fourth official and the other coach.
We can talk about that too.
Oh, goodness. I think it's just, it's a lot of times, when you're working with Rob or Bob or Vis or whatever, these guys a lot of times are thinking offensively, right? I think on the backside. I always have, I always will, right? So we may have the ball down in their end, about to cross or about to shoot or whatever. I'm looking here because I want to see what our back line looks like. I want to see if the ball comes out. Do we have the proper cover and everything we need? So a lot of the times when I do get up, it's most likely for something defensive that I saw, whether our shape wasn't quite right, or maybe we can step in tighter, those sort of things. If it was Charles, I was probably just giving him grief about, one of his shots that barely got to the goal or something like that. But we have nicknamed him, or I have nicknamed him Water Pistol. So feel free to use that as well.
I could also see, like, if John at the fourth official or the other coach, maybe you can take that bullet instead of having Bob or Rob take that bullet.
Yeah, I mean, that was something that started. I mean, again, I'm a New Yorker. I've gotten better with age. But that's something that started under Bob pretty early. Especially if there were coaches, for instance, Brendan over in Hartford, who loves to constantly be on the fourth. Pretty quick in my first year, Bob was like, hey, go see what that's about. Right. And so I almost became, if you want to call it, the enforcer on the sideline with the fourth official. And a lot of the times, honestly, especially if the other coach has started it, I will always know the name of the fourth. So I'll call him over and then be like, what do you want, Buschy? I'm like, Nothing. I just figured you were talking to him, so you wanted to talk to me, and I just make him laugh. Right? Sometimes I'll just make him laugh just to break it up. But I mean, I'll be honest, there are a few times where I've thrown a couple explicit words out there at him and or the other coach. But yeah, I like to monitor that, as we like to say. But I can't remember what game it was, but one when Biss was on the bench at one point late in the season. Something was going on over there, and he kind of looked. I was like, I got it. I just got up and went over. So it's kind of a running joke with us all.
So, with the buzz and the prospects of the Riverhounds having a D1 team sometime in the near future, do you see your role in that like changing? Do you think, are you thinking that far ahead as far as like what's going on with like the stadium expansion and the D1 and all that, or are you kind of just focused on the here and now?
Most of the time I just focus on the here and now. Would I like to be here as we continue this whole project and build it? Absolutely. I mean, we've all seen the stadium. It looks amazing. This new interesting D1 and everything that's going to come with it. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting times. I mean, for me, my focus is just, and it was like this from day one. I want to continue to build this entire goalkeeping department, because I feel like within a couple of years, I think this, and I'm just speculating, but I feel like the women's team will be a full-time pro league, or pro team. And then now we've got both sides from the itty bitties all the way up, right, on both sides. And that's what you want. And it's exciting. So right now I just, I'm always thinking about how we can make the goalkeeping department better, whether it's for the first team, whether it's for the reserve team, whether it's for the women's team, whether it's for our academy, because that falls under my umbrella as well. So everything for me is constantly goalkeeping, and I like it that way. I really do.
That's going to make my next question a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. The other big news from this week is that Chico is back in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
you just said
Chico
everything's goalkeeping, but the question that we keep getting, everyone keeps reaching out to us and saying,
yeah,
are we getting the 2023 Golden Boot winning Chico or the one who struggled at Rhode Island? From your perspective, this is just your opinion. Why bring Chico back? I think we're excited, but I'm just curious from a coaching perspective, where do you guys stand on that?
No, we're really excited to have Chico back. I can tell you he's been in the facility working out already. He's motivated. He's home, as he likes to say. I think we're gonna get a very good Chico this year. You got to give Dan Visser a lot of credit for this deal, because this wasn't an easy one. This has been going on for a while, and it gave me brain cramps, just the bits and pieces I heard throughout the office. So, full credit goes to Vis for getting this done. But yeah, no, I think you're going to get a very motivated Chico. And I'm excited to see what that means.
Yeah. There's obviously lots to look forward to in 2026. Some of us have been saying this has probably been our favorite offseason in a long time. I think winning a championship will do that. What, last question here, and we'll get you out here. What are you most looking forward to as we get ready to start practicing? Like we said, in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think, and I know Rob knows this. We've already talked about it. I think what we did was very special. It is hard in any sport to win a trophy. Yeah. And we all know, the people that have played, we all understand that, you think it's going to happen every year and it doesn't. I think one thing we need to understand, and the players need to understand, that is now done. That star will never be taken away from us on our jerseys, but that also doesn't mean that things are just going to fall into place this year. We're going to have a big target on us. Everybody's going to want to knock you off. Yeah. Right. So, we need to understand that from day one. We need to be hungry when we come in, because it's going to be, every game's going to be a battle.
Yeah, for sure. Buschy, we always appreciate you taking the time to join us. Your Instagram, for those who don't follow, is like this ray of sunlight in dark times. It feels like at times. Tell everybody where they can find you and how to follow you and all of that.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's my glove company, but it's actually me. It's at HPG_GK. Yeah, you'll get pictures of gloves, you'll get videos of goalkeeping, and then you'll get some inspirational whatever. I think that's me. I think that's me trying to pick myself up, but no. Come on, Buschy, you can do it today.
Buschy, we love you, man. Best of luck for the next 2 weeks before we get into the season, and good luck with the preseason.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Later.
man. Talk to you guys
See
later.
You, boys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.